Beyond the Gates spoilers indicate the new CBS soap just dropped its preview for the week of July 14th, 18, where it shows Vernon Dupree clashing with Bill Hamilton and Bradley Smitty Smith issuing an ultimatum to Martin Richardson. There's so much more to talk about, so let's get into it. The BTG promo opens with Vernon storming into Bill's home while he's canoodling with his wife, Haley Hamilton, on his lap. Vernon comes in, unannounced, angrily questioning how Bill thinks he can summon someone like him. He also adds, "What's so damn urgent?" As scenes shift, Danny Dupree is shown with a very distraught Bill as he says, "One Dupree is enough," and how he's met his quota. Danny replies, "Daddy, really got under your skin tonight." Vernon doesn't know that Randy Parker failed at his mission to get rid of Kenneth. He also may not know about the country club busboy harassing Martin and his family. Vernon will be irate when he finds out how things have spiraled, so he may lash out at Bill during the week of July 14th for dropping the ball on this, once again. As the show's preview progresses, the next clip shows Smitty and Martin in their home, locked in a heated argument, with their daughter, Samantha Richardson, in the room. Smitty's in an emotional state as he warns, "It's a good thing I'm not the type of man who gives ultimatums, like if you walk out that door, don't bother coming back." Martin looked as if he was headed out the door, however, stopped dead in his tracks after Smitty's statement. Across town, there's a scene between Jacob Hawthorne and Naomi Richardson. Naomi questions why Martin wants protection from the crooked cop that his husband is investigating, as Jacob answers, "If you ask me, something weird is going on." Beyond the Gates, spoilers note that there is definitely something weird going on as Martin and Detective Marcel Malone struggle to keep their secret connection hidden. However, from the looks of it, it sounds like it's about to finally blow up in everyone's face. Hey everyone, welcome back to Glimmerline, your go-to for all the latest spoilers, gossip, and TV buzz. I'm Selena, and today we're spilling the tea on everything you've missed. Let's dive right in. After agreeing to give him some space earlier this week, Smitty tries to talk to Martin about the conversation they left unfinished, but the congressman fakes a phone call to avoid having to communicate. Classic Martin. Samantha, on the other hand, isn't so lucky. Martin stops her on the way out, asking for every detail of her plans. She jokes that she's not going to befriend some chess-playing stranger like Tyrell did, but he doesn't appreciate her humor. "What the hell, Samantha?" Martin asks. "Do you think this is funny?" Samantha tells Martin to go easy on Tyrell for what he did. He's very good at chess, so good that he needs to look outside his usual circle to find worthy opponents. She understands Martin's desire to protect his children, but Samantha says he can't just keep them as prisoners at home until they're 30. Shortly after she leaves, Martin gets a visit from Malone, who says he knows all about Kenneth's little chess stunt. "It won't happen again," Malone says. "I know it won't," Martin replies. "He just checkmated himself." Martin offers to pay for personal police protection, as long as his family isn't told about it. He doesn't want them worrying any more than they already are. Jacob is waiting for Smitty at Orphe Jean's, but it's Kat who shows up first, asking him how long it's going to take to put Leslie behind bars. He's still annoyed that Kat is acting like his unofficial partner, but that doesn't stop Jacob from sharing the latest update. Yes, they were able to confirm Leslie as the owner of the helmet worn by the person who ran Laura off the road, but they still need to prove that she was wearing it at the exact moment of the accident. Frustrated with the justice system at large, Kat excuses herself, allowing Smitty to take her seat. "I still think Martin is the victim here, but what if I'm wrong?" Smitty asks Jacob. In turn, Jacob says that Martin should think about lawyering up. Jacob is a man of the law, and if Martin is guilty, he'll have to pursue him. Smitty asks if the same thing applies to Chief Hawthorne, but Jacob promises that his father isn't exempt from punishment either. Just then, a plot twist. Jacob gets a phone call about Marcel providing protection for Martin, which sends Smitty off the deep end. Martin is clearly working with Malone, and he's been lying to Smitty's face about it. Jacob tells him to stop tiptoeing around the situation and make Martin come clean. "This isn't just about you anymore, Smitty," he says. "It's about your family." Speaking of facing things head-on, Martin surprises Samantha at the park. And it's a good thing he does, because she's there with, you guessed it, Kenneth. Over at Uptown, Chelsea and Madison are enjoying another flirty evening together, with Chelsea feeling like she could literally burst into song at any moment. Madison feels the same way, though a part of her wonders if they're moving too fast. Chelsea shares Anita's recent words, that when you know, which makes Madison feel a lot better. Madison also admits that she's a little intimidated by Anita, worrying that she won't measure up to her lofty expectations. Madison's concerns about not measuring up are only exacerbated by the waitress asking Chelsea for a selfie. I don't get how you shrug off having millions of people out there caring about your every move, Madison says, complimenting Chelsea's ability to inspire confidence in total strangers. In turn, Chelsea asks Madison what's new with her, but Madison says she's more about showing than telling, suggesting that they take their date somewhere more private. But who should they spot on their way out of Uptown? Why, none other than Allison, Chelsea's crazy ex. We're headed to our happy place, Madison says. She can't touch us, but she can approach them, and she does. What are you following me or something? Chelsea asks. In Chicago, the Articulates are working on their Fire reunion concert, drawing some inspiration from none other than Queen Bey herself. But when Anita suggests spicing up their choreography, Sharon accuses her of wanting to ditch the old ways for something shiny and new, aka being the old Anita. Anita promises she's not trying to throw away the past, but breathing new life in our old classics would make them timeless, she argues. Sharon says no to all of it. No twerking, no pink-style acrobatics, no nothing. She reminds Anita that all three of them are equals, and Anita doesn't get to call all of the shots anymore. Just when it seems like Sharon is coming around to the idea of spicing up their act, incorporating their life experiences into their performance, she suddenly changes her tune. I have something new to say, she tells Anita. How about you do this without me? With that, she exits, leaving Anita and Tracy bewildered. Anita asks Tracy to convince Sharon that she's right, but she can't do it. You have to agree with Sharon because you two are the victims and I'm the villain, right? Anita asks. Tracy says things haven't changed. Anita still thinks she's the only one smart or talented enough to call the shots. Sharon returns, echoing Tracy's concerns that Anita thinks she knows best just because she has the most money. That makes it Anita's turn to throw a threat around. How about I get my checkbook out right now, sign off on everything and head on home, and you can do the concert without me. Tracy and Sharon lay a few more helpings of guilt on Anita, prompting these final remarks. I think we can all acknowledge that most of this does fall on me. If I hadn't followed Dante, you wouldn't have followed me, leaving Barbara behind. And if I hadn't gone solo, maybe we'd all be EGOTs right now. But we'll never know, and we can't turn back the clock. I hoped that I could make up for some of this, and I thought we could recreate that magic. But maybe it's just gone. Anita says she'd never decide the Articulates' fate on her own. They can still do the show without her. She's heartbroken that they haven't managed to pull this together for Barbara's sake, and she kicks Sharon and Tracy out of her hotel suite in anger. Our health is never something to be taken lightly. That's something beyond the gates Daphne Duplay really drove home for us all when she shared an update and a warning from the hospital on Thursday. She'd narrowly avoided major disaster thanks to a few folks and a perfectly timed doctor's visit. This information is not just for women, it's for men too, because you have wives, you have daughters, you have sisters, Nicole's portrayer made clear on her Instagram story. Hopefully this helps other people. I know there are a lot of anemic people out there. Her problem started, she explained, with a 28-day period, which is insane. And who knew that bleeding for that much through your cycle could deplete your blood supply? She wasn't aware, though, of how bad things were until she went to a functional health doctor recommended by a friend the day before her hospital trip. They took vials and vials and vials yesterday of blood work to help me figure out all my things so that I can age gracefully, she continued in her Instagram post. And first thing this morning, I walk into the hair and makeup room and she calls me, and she's like, I need you to go to the ER right now. That got Duplay's attention, and when she asked why, her doctor told her that her hemoglobin level had cratered. I have half the blood in my body that I am supposed to have, Anything under 7, you need a blood transfusion. And she needed a blood transfusion, but not before filming that day's scenes like the true professional she is. "I felt perfectly fine," she shared. "Everybody's like, 'Are you okay? Are you okay?' I feel fine. I feel fine. I'm not dizzy. I don't have headaches. Nothing is wrong with me," which is another warning she has for folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the minute you feel even just anything, just go. Just go. This could have been really bad is what I'm saying. If I did not go to that functional health appointment yesterday, which I'd been holding off for weeks actually, because I've been so busy, this could have been really bad. In the end, she wanted to post her gratitude and thank both women, her doctor and the friend who recommended her, who pretty much saved my life because honestly, another couple of days of this, I could possibly not be here. But I'm great. I feel great. They're putting 2 bags in me, so I'll be back to normal. Don't expect this to slow her down, though, because she was already memorizing lines for the next day of filming at Beyond the Gates. Again, Duplay is a true pro. Hopefully she's doing better after the transfusion and stays safe and healthy. This week, Beyond the Gates gave us a new couple to watch in Shanice and Derek. In addition, again, Cece, a Nicole/Leslie showdown exploded and resulted in a war of words. That is, until Nicole went for Leslie's throat. Their confrontation didn't disappoint. Plus, Jacob and Smitty inched towards Martin's 2-year secret that has caused the congressman nightmares and hallucinations. But guess what? We won't have to wait much longer to find out what he's been hiding from most of his family. Next week, a frenetic Martin continues to experience upsetting situations, including a physical altercation. But what we're all waiting for happens on Wednesday, July 16th. Martin reveals the secret that involves the police, the unsavory crowd like Joey Armstrong, and the pillars of the Fairmont Crest community. Let's go! Monday, July 14th, episode number 089. Martin has a physical altercation with the stranger. Haley tries to reconnect with Ashley. Chelsea reassures a wary Madison that her ex is in the past. Tuesday, July 15th, episode number 090. Joey sends Marcel on a dangerous assignment. Naomi follows a lead into June's past. Smitty takes matters into his own hands where his family is concerned. Wednesday, July 16th, episode number 091. Martin reveals the truth about what happened 2 years ago. Anita returns home and is stunned to hear what's gone down while she's been away. Vernon and Bill clash over who's really calling the shots. Thursday, July 17th, episode number 092. Jacob arrives with grave news for Smitty. Vanessa imparts information that sends Nicole on a fact-finding mission. The Duprees open their home to a new house guest. Friday, July 18th, episode number 93. Anita has some choice words for her daughter. Samantha makes a plea to her father. Elon puts Jacob in his place and asserts control over the investigation in the process. The Beyond the Gates. What to watch moments for Monday, July 14th, 2025. Tease trouble for core characters. Haley and Ashley will reconnect. Martin will end up in more trouble, and Chelsea will try to quell Madison's fears. Monday kicks off with a thrilling episode. Martin has been desperate to keep his past in the past, but it could come back to haunt him this time, in the form of a stranger. He will get into a physical altercation with a stranger. Is this person someone from his past? Martin could find himself in more trouble. He's already trying to hide a fatal accident. Maybe this person knows what happened that night, and that means that Martin will have no choice but to face the truth. Madison has been having doubts about her relationship with Chelsea. These two started off strong, but it might have been too much, too soon. Chelsea's past has also come back to haunt her. Madison wondered if Chelsea still had feelings for her ex. During Monday's episode, she will reassure Maidson that her ex is in the past. She wants to move forward with her future, but will Madison be willing to? Meanwhile, Haley will want to reconnect with Ashley. This could spell trouble for Danny. We previously assumed that Haley would team up with Leslie for the ultimate takedown. However, that's not happening anytime soon. Instead, we will have to settle for a team-up between Haley and Ashley. This is interesting considering Danny isn't a fan of either. Andre is dating Ashley, and Haley is married to her ex-husband. We'd love to see them shake her up. This could make for a fun storyline. Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates for the week of Monday, July 14th to Friday, July 18th, 2025. Be sure to tune in to CBS every weekday to see how everything plays out in Fairmont Crest. Martin has a physical altercation with the stranger. Haley tries to reconnect with Ashley. Chelsea reassures a wary Madison that her ex is in the past. Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Joey sends Marcel on a dangerous assignment. Naomi follows a lead into June's past. Smitty takes matters into his own hands where his family is concerned. Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Martin reveals the truth about what happened 2 years ago. Anita returns home and is stunned to hear what's gone down while she's been away. Vernon and Bill clash over who's really calling the shots. Thursday, July 17th, 2025. Jacob arrives with grave news for Smitty. Vanessa imparts information that sends Nicole on a fact-finding mission. The Duprees open their home to a new house guest. Friday, July 18th, 2025. Anita has some choice words for her daughter. Samantha makes a plea to her father. Elon puts Jacob in his place and asserts control over the investigation in the process. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Bill summons Vernon and Smitty gives Martin an ultimatum. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, July 14th to Friday, July 18th, 2025. Vernon walks into Bill's and Haley's house, asking, "Who the hell do you think you are summoning me, and what the heck is so damn urgent?" Well, Vernon is about to find out that not all went to plan with getting rid of the Kenneth problem. Bill received a call from Joey, and now it's his turn to pass this on. These two always see themselves as the most powerful people in any room, so sorting out a solution won't be easy. The first order of business will be determining who's in charge. Seeing as there is also no love lost between Bill Hamilton and Vernon Dupree, this should be fun to watch. Bill is trying to enjoy a drink at the country club, and who decides to join him? His ex-wife, Danny Dupree. Bill has had enough of Duprees for one day and tells Danny that he has met his read for filth quota for the day. Danny, always one to have a quip back, says to Bill, "Daddy really got under your skin, I." Now is most certainly not the time, and Bill has plans to make. Things are very tense in Martin's and Smitty's house. Martin is doing his best to protect his family, and he thinks that one way of protecting them is not to share the details of that horrible night 2 years ago. The big problem with that is, Smitty is going to uncover it all by himself at this rate, and if he does, he will feel so betrayed that Martin couldn't trust him with the truth. Smitty tells Martin that it's a good thing he doesn't give ultimatums like, "If you walk out that door, do not bother coming back." Is this the push that Martin needs to realize that he needs to talk to his husband? And will he before it's too late? As a detective on the police force, Jacob is accustomed to strange occurrences, but this one has him perplexed, leading him to believe something truly unusual is happening. He's discussing the problem with his wife Naomi, and she asks to clarify. Martin wants protection from the crooked cop that his own husband is investigating? Jacobs replied, "If you ask me, something weird is going on." Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, July 11th reveal some interesting moments as fans head into the weekend. Martin Richardson takes extreme measures, while Dr. Madison Montgomery starts to have doubts. Plus, the Articulates reunion is in jeopardy. Read on to learn more about what's coming up on the CBS soap. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, July 11th suggest that Martin will feel the need to cross a line in order to protect his family. Since Kenneth entered the picture, Martin has been struggling emotionally. He's terrified his secret will come out, and unfortunately, while Bill Hamilton promised he would take care of the situation, thanks to Randy Parker's fumble, Kenneth has not been taken care of, and his blackmail and threats have doubled. Martin was especially shocked to see Kenneth in his home, playing chess with his son, Tyrell Richardson, this past week. So, what will Martin do to ensure his family remains protected? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Across town, Madison will have doubts about her relationship with Chelsea Hamilton. Will Allison reappear? Will Madison stumble upon Chelsea and Allison interacting? Chelsea did a good job putting Allison in her place during the Monday, July 7th episode. However, fans could tell she may be tempted by her ex-girlfriend. Could Chelsea cross a line, or could a misunderstanding arise where Madison misinterprets a situation the wrong way? Beyond the gates, spoilers for Friday, note that the Articulettes will be at odds, which is not a shocker, since Anita Dupree, along with her groupmates, Sharon Winger and Tracy Tyler, haven't been on the same page since the idea of a reunion concert came to be. These three ladies have a ton of conflict in their past, and a lot of hurt feelings that linger. Added teasers suggest their rift could derail their efforts to reunite on stage, but BTG spoilers have suggested this for some weeks now, and the ladies continue to persevere. It sounds like the three may get into an argument, but will plans for them to reunite be called off?